suspended.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I know that August is approaching, but we still have some serious work to do here in Washington. We need to make further progress on appropriations, and we have a number of President Trump's nominations to get through. Mr. President, despite a historic level of obstruction from Democrats, Senate Republicans have been maintaining a brisk pace on confirming President Trump's nominees. We've confirmed 107 civilian nominees, nearly doubling the pace in President Trump's first administration at this point. And we've done it with good old-fashioned hard work. Thanks in substantial part to our commitment to getting President Trump's team in place, the Senate has taken 437 votes so far this year, which is more than in any Congress at this point in the last 35-plus years. In fact, we've taken more votes in 2025 already in less than 7 months than the Senate has taken in a full 12 months for 32 of the past 36 years. So we've kept up a very intense pace. But there are a number of nominees still waiting for confirmation, and we're going to get through a lot more of them soon. And so we can do this the easy way or the hard way, Mr. President. And that's really up to the Senate Democrats. As I said, we've confirmed President Trump's civilian nominees at nearly double the pace of his first administration so far, through a lot of hours spent here in the Senate, but we would have a lot more nominees confirmed at this point if Democrats hadn't decided to drag out every nomination. Democrats have not allowed a single civilian Trump nominee to pass by unanimous consent or voice vote, even when Democrats have ultimately ended up supporting the nomination in significant numbers. I refer to this, Mr. President, as a historic level of obstruction, and I mean it. President Trump is the only president on record, to not have a single one of his civilian nominees confirmed by unanimous consent or voice vote at this point in his presidency. The only president on record. Now, just to offer a point of comparison here, by this point in his presidency, President Biden had 44 civilian nominees confirmed by voice vote. President Trump hasn't had one. 44 for Biden, 0 for President Trump. And so when I say this is a historic level of obstruction from Democrats, I mean it. That's not a Republican talking point. It's just a fact. Democrats haven't offered a shred of courtesy to President Trump, to the voters who elected him, or to the people who have stepped up to serve our country in his administration. And so the ball is in Democrats' court, Mr. President. They can continue to drag out the process on even the most uncontroversial nominees, and we can spend a lot more hours with each other in the Senate chamber. Or they can rein in their reflexive anti-Trump sentiment and allow some of his rank-and-file nominees to proceed by unanimous consent or voice vote, just as Republicans did when the roles were reversed. And I'd remind my colleagues about the dangerous and ugly precedent that they're setting here. But the choice is theirs. But whether it's the slow way or the fast way, we're getting President Trump's nominees confirmed. Mr. President, I yield the floor, and I suggest the absence of quorum.
Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Alsobrooks.